Hi, Mr. Cole here, and today's topic is rates and unit rates. And today's goal, we have three of them. So we're going to do find unit rates, then we're going to estimate unit rates, and we're going to find unit rates and use that to compare costs. So our California standards for today is measurement and geometry 1.3. Our vocabulary, we have two of them. The first one is rate, and that's a ratio that compares two quantities of different units. And we have unit rate, which is rates in which the second quantity is equal to 1. So that part is very important to remember, okay? Alright, let's start on the first one. So here we have finding unit rates. And a lot of times they're going to be kind of packaged in a way where it's like a word problem, but don't let that scare you, okay? We can still work on that. So first of all, we're going to follow this certain way on how to solve this. Here we have where it is a fraction. So we have 12 and we have 3. And we're going to set it up this way. So notice that that's my fraction bar right here. The setup is we're going to use the other measure over the single quantity, which means if you look here, we're looking for how many miles does she walk per hour. So that is going to be our bottom number. We're looking for the hours on the bottom. So how we're going to set this up is we're going to set it up as, since we're looking for per hour, that 3 is going to be down here. And then that 12 is going to be up here. So our two things that we're comparing here is we're comparing miles to hours, okay? Now, all we're going to do here is we're just going to go ahead and divide top and bottom by this number. And you're always dividing by this number because you're trying to make this number per hour, which means 1, single quantity. So that's going to give us 3 into 12 is 4, so that's 4 miles over 1 hour. And if you were to rewrite it out, it would be 4 miles per hour, which if you look at it, it does make sense. If you did 3 hours and you did 12 miles, then it makes sense that 1 hour would be only 4 miles. Okay? The question I want you to go and take from this is, how would you set up your unit rates? And that's a main thing here, okay? Make sure that you look at that. Alright, let's go ahead and look at another one. Now this one we're going to estimate. A lot of times you have really large numbers that you can kind of manipulate, and then there's some times where the large numbers are just too much. So you have to go ahead and round down, round up, depending on what you're trying to do here. So here we have estimating unit rates. We're going to do the same exact thing. So you have fractions, you're going to set it up the same way, and you're going to simplify at the end. So let's take a look at right here. Now, if I look at 268 and chairs in 9 rows, I'm looking for a number that they both kind of have like a relationship to. In this case, kind of like a factor of. So if I take 268 and I look at 9, 268 is very close to 270. And 270, because of that 27, I know the 27 is a factor of 9. I now can just go ahead and set this up. So I've just changed this into 270, I rounded up, then I'm just going to put this over 9. So this is 270 chairs, 9 rows. And again, we're going to do the same thing like what we did before. I'm setting up so that way I'm going to have single row, and then I'm just going to go ahead and divide. I always divide by the number on the bottom because that leaves me with 1. So that's going to be 1 row. And 270 chairs divided by 9 is going to give me 30. 30 chairs, okay? And so, if I were to look at the unit rate of this, every single row would have 30. So if I have 9 of them, I should have about 270. Okay, let's look at the CDs right here. So again, we're going to go and set it up as a fraction. And we're going to go ahead and set it up where we're going to find out the cost of 1 CD. So let's go ahead and just make this a little bit easier for us to manipulate. $59.95 is very close to 60. And since we're looking for 6 CDs, we can just keep it as 6 CDs. We don't have to manipulate this one too much just because 6 is a factor of 60. So again, divide this by 6, divide this by 6. We're always dividing by that number so that way we can get the 1. 1 CD cost is going to give me about 10. And again, all of these are about because we know that I'm kind of, there's a little bit of a money difference here. So that is not really 60. That's $59.95, so it's about 5 cents that you're off. However, your CD, each one, is probably going to be about 10 bucks. Okay? Alright, the main question here that I want you to go ahead and make sure that you understand is, how are the unit rates simplified? And I've briefly talked about it here, briefly talked about it here, also in the previous slide as well. Alright, how about we're now going to use unit rates to compare prices? Well, this one we have one extra thing that we need to worry about and talk about, is that we need to write each one as a fraction. So we're going to do the same thing, but notice we have two things we're comparing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this as a fraction and this as a fraction. And since we're going to compare with one unit rate, let's take the first one, and that's going to be $2.48 over 4. And that's the one I got from here. And then I'm going to take the other one, and I'm going to write this. And this is going to let me know how much each one is going to cost. So if I were to take this and divide by 4, because again I just want 4, I want 1 on the bottom. So 1 is going to cost me whatever 4 is divided into this. So if I take 4 into this, it's going to give me 6 times and 2. So each one is going to cost me 62 cents. Now let's look at this one. I'm going to divide this by 6. 6 divided by 6 is going to give me 1. And now, once I'm done here, I'm able to compare, because you're now comparing the same exact thing, 1 to 1, and then you can really figure out which is going to cost you less or cost you more. So 6 into 39 is going to give me 6 times, and that's 36, so it's going to give me 66 cents. So here you have two values here. One is going to cost you 62 cents, one is going to cost you 66 cents. Which is a better buy? Well, or which one has a lower unit price? Well, if you look at it, this is only going to cost me 62 cents, so that's our answer right there. Okay? So, knowing how to do this, you should be able to answer, how would you figure out what is a better buy? Okay? Alright. Okay, let's go ahead and recap this entire thing that we've done here. So, the first thing that we need to do here is, because we're dealing with rates and unit rates, we're going to go ahead and make sure that it is written out as a fraction. We're going to set it up, and don't forget, when you set it up, you're going to set it up as the measure that you're looking for in a single quantity. That goes on the bottom, and then anything else is going to go on the top. So the thing that you want to figure out what one item is, that's going to be on the bottom. Okay? And then we're going to simplify. Once we're done simplifying, and we want to make sure that we're dividing into 1. So we need to make sure that this part is going to become 1. The main question that I want you to go ahead and make sure that you also think about is, what are two rates that speed could be measured? Okay, so I want you to think about that. Alright. Okay, if you'd like to see more videos, go to www.youtube.com/user/tycodad, and thanks for watching.